Welcome back to Let's Chat, Iterable's weekly series on the marketing moments that matter. Today we're exploring FinTech and the uniquely high bar this industry faces when it comes to customer trust.
An incredibly high bar.
Because when your product is someone's money, trust isn't a nice to have.
No, not at all.
It's the entire experience. But the truth is, most financial brands are struggling to meet the moment.
They really are.
In FinTech, personalization isn't just a data challenge. It's a compliance, security, and trust challenge.
Exactly. Every single message has to navigate this web of strict regulations and really sensitive customer data.
It's no surprise, therefore, that 94% of financial institutions say they can't deliver the personalization customers expect.
And that gap is where the problems start.
That gap between what users want and what they get is where churn, drop-off, and disengagement take hold. So let's take a look at how some FinTech brands are bridging that gap, starting not with more content, but with more relevant timing, smarter data use, and clearer communication.
Absolutely. Let's get into it. The first big hurdle is right at the beginning, onboarding.
Right. It's described as a heavy lift, which feels like a huge understatement.
It is. You're asking people for identity verification, data permissions, linking bank accounts.
A lot at once. It's a moment where user hesitation just has to spike.
It skyrockets. This isn't about pretty UX. It's about managing a very real sense of anxiety.
And the cost of getting that wrong is, well, it's massive.
Oh, it's brutal. The data shows 77% of users disengage within the first 3 days.
77%.
Yeah. If that onboarding experience isn't personalized or helpful, they're just gone. It shows how much trust matters over, say, a polished interface.
So 3 out of 4 potential customers just walk away.
Pretty much. Which brings us to a great case study, CoinStats.
A crypto portfolio tracker. What was their specific challenge?
Users were abandoning the process right when they had to connect their crypto wallets.
Which is a pretty high friction step.
Exactly. And their generic come back and finish reminders just weren't working.
So what was the fix? They had to do something different.
They did. They moved away from those generic messages and started triggering real-time, personalized push notifications.
Real time, so we're talking minutes after drop-off.
Within minutes, yeah. And the messages were smart. They specifically included the user's actual portfolio name.
Ah, so it immediately signals that the brand knows who you are.
Right. And second, and this is the really key part, they use deep linking.
Okay, so deep linking takes you right back to the exact spot where you left off. Right.
Precisely. It doesn't just open the app.
Yeah.
It takes you to the specific screen, the specific field you were on. It removes all that friction of trying to find your way back.
It's basically being as helpful as possible in that moment of hesitation.
Exactly. And the impact was huge. A 35% drop in abandonment.
Wow.
And almost a 50% bump in their push open rates, plus a 20% lift in overall app activity.
So the takeaway is pretty clear. It isn't about pushing harder.
Not at all. It's about being genuinely helpful and respecting the user's sensitivity in a critical moment.
That makes perfect sense. But that initial onboarding, that's just the first hurdle.
Yeah.
What about maintaining that trust over the long term?
That's the next big challenge. I mean, FinTech brands have years of data on their customers, transactions, behaviors.
But they still communicate like they're talking to a stranger.
It's a huge missed opportunity in continuity, and customers notice.
And they're willing to act on it. What does the data say?
It says 45% of consumers would consider switching financial providers for a more personalized digital experience.
45%, that's nearly half.
Yeah. They expect the company that holds their money to, remember them.
I think you've hit on a key point there. Good personalization in this space feels like memory.
That's a great way to put it. It's not about flashy new offers. It's about leaning on past actions.
Can you give me an example of what that looks like?
Sure. Instead of a generic ad, imagine a message that says, "Hey, Sam, last year around this time you set up a $500 transfer to savings. Want to set that up again?"
That's incredibly powerful. It feels helpful, not salesy. It shows you remember my habits.
Exactly. It's about behavioral recall. And that brings us to blockchain.com.
Right, the crypto platform. They had years of user data, right? Last logins, past purchases.
All of it. But it wasn't being used in their reactivation campaigns. They were sending these very generic comeback emails.
Which I'm guessing didn't work very well.
Predictably, no. So they made a change. They started tailoring emails and push notifications based on a user's specific last action.
So if my last action was logging into my wallet, the message would reflect that.
Precisely. They even personalize the subject lines with dynamic snippets like, "It's been X days since we've seen you."
It's such a simple switch from generic to specific.
But the results speak for themselves. A 32.4% relative increase in engagement,
Just from that change.
just from proving that they remembered the customer. It shows that in FinTech, memory equals comfort. You don't need to shop users, you just need to support their existing habits.
That idea of comfort and security is a perfect bridge to our final point.
The role of AI.
Exactly. We hear about AI in marketing all the time, but in financial services, it's a different game. Speed isn't the top priority.
No. Compliance, security, and trust have to come first. Traditional AI tools are often built to be fast, not careful. And in FinTech, you have to be careful.
The regulatory side of things is non-negotiable. One mistake isn't just a bad ad, it's a potential data breach or a massive fine.
Catastrophic, really. So the challenge is, how do you use AI for personalization without taking on all that risk?
And the case study here is the Zebra, the insurance comparison platform.
That's right. Their problem was speed, but for a different reason. Their marketing team was incredibly slowed down.
How so?
They were spending months just waiting on engineering to get data access or build audiences. They were compliant, but they were slow.
And that slowness, ironically, can also damage trust because the communication isn't timely.
Exactly. So their solution was to build a system where marketers could have direct, secure access to data. AI could then do the heavy lifting, but within very strict compliance guardrails.
So it's like AI on a leash, in a good way. What did that secure automation actually do?
A few things. It sent, quote, reminders that picked up exactly where a user left off.
Okay.
It ran price tracking alerts automatically and securely. It even optimized subject lines using live, quote, data, all within a closed, compliant system.
So it delivered speed without sacrificing safety. And the results.
A 25% lift in policy purchases.
That's significant.
A 15% bump in open rates.
Yeah.
And maybe the biggest win of all, they saved 3 months of campaign build time.
Wow, 3 months. That's a huge operational gain.
It is. It just proves that the real value of AI in this space is automation that is built from the ground up to be secure and maintain quality. That's how you preserve trust.
This has been really insightful. All three of these strategies, they come back to a central idea.
FinTech is full of complexity, compliance, data security, emotional stakes. But in the end, marketing in this space comes down to something simple, showing up in a way that feels helpful and human.
That's it, exactly.
If you're navigating this space and want a deeper dive into the trends shaping FinTech marketing right now, check out our new guide, A Look at FinTech Today. It's full of actionable insights, real-world examples, and strategies to help you close the trust gap.
A great resource.
This wraps our very first year of Let's Chat. Thanks for being part of it.
It's been a fantastic year.
We'll be back in 2026 with more insights, trends, and conversations to help you create the moments that matter.
We look forward to it.
See you next year. Same time, same chat.